Top picks in Major League Baseball turn out to be busts at a fairly high rate, but that's not to say that some of the greatest players in history have been selected early in the baseball drafts throughout the years. One of those being is Alex Rodriguez. He was drafted number 1 overall and has one of the highest win above replacements ever. What if I tell you that Barry Bonds and Derek Jeter were both picked number 6th in their draft class? As we dive deeper into the first round, can you believe that Christian Yelich was the 23rd pick? He is now the 2018 NL MVP. Can you also believe that Mike Trout was drafted 25th in 2009? How could 24 other teams not pick Mike Trout? Getting close to the end, if you're a Royals fan, you know who George Brett is. Well, George Brett was picked number 29th in 1971 to the Royals. George Brett was a 13-time All-Star and 3-time batting champion. Now you think, well, that's the first round, but what kind of other players can you get later in the draft? How about picking up Albert Pujols in the round of 13? How about picking up John Smoltz in round 22? How about picking up Ken Griffey in round 29? And the craziest of all, how about picking up Mike Piazza, one of the best catchers of all time, 12-time All-Star, picked up in the 62nd round. Now there isn't that many rounds in these year's draft, but you can pick up great players wherever you pick. Just because you have the first overall pick or the last pick of the draft doesn't mean you can't find a gem. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I apologize for the nasally voice. I'm kind of sick, so bear with me. I know this is coming out a day late, and I apologize, but again, I'm sick. So let's get started with the draft. We have the number 2 overall pick. Number 1 goes to Baltimore, and they're going to select a starting pitcher, Chavez, who wasn't bad. He's better than who we pick, but we got a pretty good draft pick right here at number 2. So we're looking, basically we have anybody to choose from. A lot of what we need is starting pitchers. I'm thinking shortstop, third baseman. We need a little bit of help in the outfield. But we're just kind of going through, taking our time. I think this first round honestly took me about 10 or 15 minutes to actually make my first pick. However, I sped it up a little bit for you guys so it wouldn't be as boring. But I wanted to make sure that I checked out every single position, made sure I got the best available guy at this point in the draft. Not necessarily what we need, but the best available person that would help our team win. So we're looking at kind of closing pitchers. We're having a problem with our closing pitcher right now, and our bullpen is kind of struggling, but I'm not sure I want to address that being, the very second pick in the draft. We want a player that is kind of versatile, is either very, very good at his position or can play multiple positions very well. So going through and just looking at a few of these people, Hernandez, 19 he's 19, but potential 75. We want to make sure we grab a potential 80, and we want to make sure that we grab someone that we have scouted and make sure that they are actually as good as the potential is saying they are. So going through second baseman, we didn't really look at too many people. We looked at Martin Bliss. He ends up being a 70 potential, so we're not going to go ahead and draft him. Even though he's pretty well, if he's late in the draft and we can get him later on, we definitely will, but definitely not a person that we want to grab right now. It doesn't actually look like any of the second basemen have the potential for an 80. So I think, Yamada we just picked up off the free agency. If you didn't watch that episode, make sure you go back, or at the end of this episode, it'll be in the left card. You can click on that and watch that episode as we picked up Yamada off of free agency. So second baseman isn't really someone we need to be looking at right now. I think we need to be looking at third baseman. Alan Castillo is one of the best third basemen on the board. He's potential 80. He has been recruited, or we have looked at him, scouted, and it looks like he will get full potential 80. He's 20 years of age, which is actually pretty good. It looks like he won't be up to the major leagues until 2023. So not very good right now, but has that super high potential. Another guy is Marco Esperanza and Adrian Silva, both of which I've been kind of paying attention to because I think in this draft we will get a shortstop somewhere. I don't know if it'll be our first overall pick or, later on in the draft. Still kind of looking over it. There's a few people I'm looking for that first pick for us, second overall pick. Al Castillo is one of them, but we're drafting him based on kind of what he can be. Looking at his stats, he's got the contact. He doesn't really have the power. They don't really have him as a great power resource. He's good at fielding. So we're looking at, if we're going to draft a guy number 2 overall, he's going to have to be really, really good, a really good hitter, really, either a power hitter or huge contact hitter. And we're not finding that there. Going over to our starting pitchers that we have outlined, there's a few that kind of look really, really good. Littleton looks pretty good. Sanchez looks good. Bong looks good. Castillo looks pretty good too. I like what he has to offer, especially in stamina and hit. However, can't really do much fielding, but let's be honest, not a lot of pitchers have a great fielding rating. So he's based upon a lot on what he can do. He's supposed to be up in the MLB in 2020, so he might be someone we pick, because right now I think we're about a year or two away from actually making a playoff run, actually getting into the playoffs, getting deep into the playoffs, and hopefully winning another World Series. So I'm looking for someone that can do that. Another person that can do that, Herbert Littleton. It looks like his MLB estimated time of arrival is 2021, so that would put us in 2 years from now. Singer isn't supposed to make it until 2021, but he looking great in AAA right now, so he might actually come up this year. So starting pitching is something that you can never have too much of. You never know when a pitcher is going to get hurt. You never know, what's going to happen with your starting rotation. So to get starting pitching in a draft or through trades or free agency is always good. So let's look at Herbert Littleton. He's got a 4-seam at 94, a changeup at 84, a curve at 80, and a 2-seam fastball riding in at 90. If we do draft him, I will probably try to add a slider and give him some velocity. It looks like his velocity is already at 70, but it looks like his scouted velocity is much higher. So looking this over right now, his stamina is a little low, but it looks like he will get that up well above average. His hits per 9 at 65 right now, looks like it'll be up to a 75. 55 on the strikeouts. Walks is 65, which is pretty good. He gives up quite a few home runs with that 45. Going over to Sanchez, kind of the same thing. Stamina is pretty low, but it looks like it's going to go up. Hits per 9 are up pretty well as well. So kind of looking at them, it looks like Herbert Littleton has the upper hand just because he's a better overall right now. He's 19 years of age, which is crazy. Sanchez is 18. So both of these guys are really guys we want to get, but I don't know if they will last until the next round. We are going to draft Herbert Littleton, as I think he is the best draft pick right now for where we're at. Going into round 2, again, it looks like a bunch of the players that we thought about taking round 1 are still there. A few of them being Baroa at shortstop. I said we were probably looking at a shortstop sometime in the draft. He is still there. But a person that I think we are going to draft is going to be Sammy Rodriguez. MLB ETA is 2023 right now. He's around 60 overall, 80 potential. He's 18 years of age. It looks like he's got that contact kind of low right now, but that power is huge. Looks like he will fill out as a contact hitter, 55 and 60. Power is 65 and 75 scouted. So it looks like he's going to be pretty good. I also like that arm strength, arm accuracy, that type of stuff. He's not really going to be stealing or bait or, speed or anything like that. So I like what he has to offer. Another guy we're looking at is Steven Ibarra. He's 70 overall, 75 potential. He's 21 years of age. But we're going to go with Sammy Rodriguez. I think that he's a perfect fit because by the time he gets up to the MLB in 3 or 4 years, Salvi will probably be gone. So we're basically, hopefully filling an all-star position that we're losing with another all-star type caliber person with Sammy Rodriguez. So hopefully he will end up being as good as the scouts have him being. Going on to our third pick, looking at Alex Baroa, it looks like he has really, really high contact. Right now it's 50 and 60, but scouted is 65 and 70. Doesn't look like he's going to have much power, but what I like to see is the plate discipline, is the fielding, the arm strength, the arm accuracy, the reaction, all that stuff. I wish the speed was a little higher, but I think that's something that a shortstop doesn't have to have if he hits very, very well. You don't really need, we have Mondesi now, who is just crazy fast, steals bases, all that stuff, which is great. But a shortstop doesn't have to be a speed guy. As long as they have great defense, they will work out. So third pick, looking at actually doing another pitcher here, looking at Fernando Sanchez and Hershiser. I think we're going to do Hershiser. I think he has a better chance of making it to the MLB faster. He's a little bit better than Fernando Sanchez, but it looks like pick 4 we're going to be able to get Fernando Sanchez as well. Again, Sanchez is very high velocity. He's got that four-seam fastball running at 97, splitter at 92, a couple of off-speed pitches. We're going to go with him with our 4th pick in the 3rd round. We did get a pick in one of those other mid rounds. I don't even know what they're called, but we got 4 picks right now. Our 5th pick, looks like we have a few starting pitchers that we still want left. It looks like Alex Baroa is still left, so I think we might actually take Baroa here at shortstop. As I said earlier, he's not super fast, but he's got really, really good fielding, and it looks like he's going to have some pretty high contact. So let's go ahead and take Baroa here with our 5th pick in the 4th round. Going up to the 5th round, let's see who we got left here. Looks like we got Luther Conway. He has a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He only has 3 pitches, but at 18, we could definitely teach him some more pitches, so I'm not really worried about the pitch thing there. So we're going to go ahead and take him. I like how fast his fastball is, and I think we could definitely teach him some other pitches that will help him. Going on to the next round, it looks like everyone that we scouted is basically out at this point. So right now we're just kind of looking at people who have a very high ETA, because that's saying that this person's going to be really, really good quickly. So looking at that, we need a relief pitcher. Costa looks like he could fit that role. 18 years of age, looks like he's already really, really good. So we're going to go ahead and pick him up. His potential wasn't crazy high, but it doesn't really matter because the potential can be low and change. So we're done with the draft. Let's go over and look at our players, how we did. As I said earlier, Bartolo Chavez is probably the best guy in the draft. He's a 72 overall starting pitcher, an A potential. Herbert Littleton is an A potential, but it looks like that might be falling a little bit. Also, his overall 69 is not crazy good, but that's really good for a 2nd pick. It's exactly what we wanted. 19 years of age from Canada, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 92-seam fastball. Looks like that velocity I thought was going to be a little bit higher, but 78's not bad for a velocity. The stamina is 65. We've got to work on that as well. Going to his attributes, for his defense, they don't really matter. I mean, he's not going to be a fielder. Alan Castillo, another guy we were looking at, A potential, 56 overall, so it wasn't that great as far as overall. His potential is really high. The catcher, best catcher in the draft, he was pretty good. Some other people I kind of wanted to look at, just going through here. Esperanza, we looked at him. He's an A potential, 51 overall, so it doesn't look like he will be up at the majors anytime soon. So it's kind of what you need and what you want at this point. Craig Thacker, we looked at getting him. He had very, very good cutter and four-seam, and it looks like he was a C potential. So we might have dodged a bullet with that. Sammy Rodriguez, our guy we picked with our 2nd overall pick, is a B potential, 61 overall. Again, that power is huge, 53 and 72. I also like his arm accuracy, his arm strength. They're going to have to do a lot of work with that stuff, but I think it will be, good in the end. I'd like his reaction and blocking to be a little bit higher, but he's only 18. He's going to, his potential is going to go up. I eventually think he will hit that A potential and fill in right behind Salvi. So our next pick was Fred Hershiser. He's a B potential, 62 overall. He's a lefty. He's got all 5 pitches, including an 88-mile-an-hour sinker. He's got that cutter and a 93-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. His velocity isn't as big as I thought it was going to be. The velocity right now is at 73. Stamina at 83, which is great. He's going to do a great job in going long distances. Again, defense doesn't really matter, but he has great arm strength and great arm accuracy. I also like the walks per 9. Going on to our next draft pick, Fernandez Sanchez, B overall potential, 57 overall right now. He's got pretty low on that stamina, pretty low on the velocity, decently high on the break, so I like that. But he is throwing 97 mile an hour four-seam fastball, a 92 mile an hour splitter, curve, and it changed, so that'll all kind of change. It looks like he can bunt pretty well as well. I don't know if we'll need a lot of bunting being in the AL. Our next pick's Alex Baroa. He's 56 overall, B potential. Looks like his potential is actually going up. Again, he's only 19 years of age. Contact is pretty well, 48 and 62. Power is pretty low, but I like that arm strength, arm accuracy, the reaction, that type of stuff. Probably going to need that to go up a little bit, but I do like his vision and discipline. Very, very good. So looks like looking at his spray chart and at his red and blues, I guess, versus left versus right, it looks like he's doing very, very well versus left-handed pitchers. Got a lot of red in there, so I think he will actually be a great hitter in the end. Going on to pick 5 is Luther Conway. He comes in at a C potential, 60 overall, so not a very good thing there, but we will be able to add a few pitches to him as he is 18 years old, and hopefully we can raise that up a little bit. Mario Costa, a D potential, not good there, but a 66 overall, so it looks like he pretty much maxed out where he is at right now as it is. So we're going to probably use him next year already in our bullpen, if not, maybe a couple years away. We're going to go ahead and try to sign all of our guys. Littleton, we just signed, and we find out his potential is 91 right now. Sammy Rodriguez, we're able to sign him. His potential is 88. Fred Hershiser, able to sign him. He is 88 potential. Fernando Sanchez, signed him, 86. Alex Baroa is an 87 potential, signed him. Luther Conway is a 78 potential, which is really close to an 80, so we signed him. I think he'll do well. Costa, not so much at 61, but he's 18 years of age. Things change. You know, players get better, players get worse, that type of thing. So I think overall in this draft, we did really, really well. We came with an A overall guy at first pick, and then we came in with 4 B potential overall guys. So I think we did a wonderful job. If you guys like this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also, feel free to hit that red subscribe button. If you did not watch that last episode where we picked up a second baseman from our free agents, that episode will be on the left. The right side is all of the episodes starting from episode 1. Till next time, Slacker out.